Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day live stream. Today, I'm going to be talking about our Email the Authors feature and or Email the Author feature for single authored books. And I'm going to be talking about how it works, why we have it, and why you can't disable it, actually. Someone asked us about this specifically recently. So let me just get the first housekeeping done. If you're watching the recording of this video, which is how most people are going to watch it, please just skip ahead to the 2-minute mark. Uh, we're just going to give people a little bit of time to join and time for me to talk about the usual setting up process. So every one of these videos is recorded, and then you can find it on our YouTube channel at Leanpub. Please like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. There's also a corresponding blog post that goes with every one of these videos. You can find that on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. I just updated it with an image that I added about this feature. If you can't find the blog post on our blog at leanpub.com/blog, right there on the front page of it, just click the magnifying glass in the top right, and you can search and you can find the articles. The articles are often useful because if you prefer to read rather than watch a video, and there can also be useful links and stuff like that in there as well. In a sense, these Lean Publishing Tips of the Day are a kind of help center repository that's sort of built over time and added to hopefully 5 times a week. And you can subscribe to the newsletter and stuff like that. We have a newsletter on LinkedIn. If you're a LinkedIn person, that's a good way to keep up with these things. You'll get one of these. You'll get an email notification about this if you're set up for that. Every time we send one out, which again is sort of normally we send one out we try to send one out on each weekday. And yeah, and please like and subscribe everywhere you find us and stuff like that. And if so, here we are approaching the 2-minute mark. So 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the 2-minute mark of today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day video, where we're going to be talking about our Email the Author feature. So a really important part of Leanpub is doing something that was sort of, not sort of a conventional part of the publishing process, I guess, in a way, in the past, or at least the way book writing and book authoring worked in the public imagination. So we encourage constant interaction between authors and readers. You should, have your email address out there. You should be on social media, stuff like that. I mean, only to the level to which you're comfortable and feel, safe and all that kind of stuff. But interacting with people is a really great way to find out what people are interested in. Are they interested in what you're writing about? Would they rather you were writing about something else? Have they found a typo on page 5? Um, uh, interactions with authors are a really joyful thing for readers often. I mean, at the big book publishing industry conferences and stuff, the most popular thing is the sort of tables that are set up where authors just sit there and sign books. So you actually get to interact with the author. People absolutely love it. It's important too, not just for people who've bought your book and, as it were, in the physical world want it signed, but people who are thinking of buying your book. This is one of the reasons it's particularly important to encourage interactions between readers and authors on Leanpub, where people might be publishing their books in progress. So someone may want to contact you and say, "Hey, I see your book is 50% done. When are you planning on finishing it? Should I buy it now?" If they do that, then you can reply and say, "Hey, yeah, it is 50% done. I'm planning on, 5 more chapters that I plan on being done in 6 months. I suggest you buy it now because the price is going to be raised over time as I add more content. So if you buy it now, you kind of basically get the book at a discount if you're an author doing that kind of pricing model, which is, by the way, one that we encourage. And yeah, and so basically, like, you'll learn about your readers, they'll learn about you, that will help you in your book writing, that will help you in your book planning if you're publishing a book in progress or serially. And it'll help you with your book marketing generally. It may give you fans for life, stuff like that, which is really, really important feature of being an author. The more of a sort of like interaction you have with people, the more likely they might be to find out about your next book, and your next book after that. So building an online profile is actually a really important part of being an author, and interacting with people is a good way to do that. And one way we have of doing that is an Email the Author feature, which is what I'm talking about today. So let me share a different tab here. So here's a book that I often use in these videos, the sample nonfiction theme book. This is by me. Um, and it's only marked as 50% complete, probably because I was playing around with that feature in another video. Um, Uh, if you scroll down on every Leanpub book landing page, you will find this in the about under the about the book section. You will find this email the author feature. What this does is it lets people can click it, and then they get this form that you're seeing here, um, where you can include your email address. Now I'm signed into my Leanpub account, so it's including my email address automatically. Um, if you're not signed into a Leanpub account, you kind of need to add this manually, and we definitely recommend that you do that so the author can respond to your query. The reason people can email you without including their email address is because we want people to feel free to kind of contact you without you necessarily knowing their identity. They may want to tell you something that's a little bit critical, and they might just not want you to know that it's them or something like that. And they may just be kind of private. They may be, hey, big fan, but they just don't want to give you their email address for kind of obvious privacy reasons. Yeah, so if you're signed into a Leanpub account, you're a Leanpub, kind of user, their email address will automatically be there, and then they can type in a message to you. Great book, you know, can't wait for the next chapter, something like that. Usually these interactions will be more substantive than that. And the really important thing to keep in mind is that this may be someone who hasn't bought your book yet, but is thinking about doing it. And here's your chance to do what's called converting, a customer into being a paying customer. Um, these kinds of things, it's kind of like, one customer at a time is actually how businesses are built often. It might feel like it can't scale, but if you're thinking about that, but if you've got so many people emailing you that you can't handle all the correspondence, welcome to being a best-selling author. And if you think back on like sort of famous authors and even sort of famous people in the past, they often do set aside quite a bit of time during their week to sort of correspond with fans and stuff like that. So I wouldn't view interacting with authors, even individual people, as a waste of time at all. You can find out about them. What are they interested in? You might, get a sale out of it. If you get a sale, if someone buys your book because they interacted with you, they're going to be a big fan, probably. They're going to be, oh, I had, they're going to talk about it with their friends. Oh yeah, I bought this great book, and the reason I bought it was because I asked the author a question. The author actually responded. So people absolutely love that. It's a very important part of self-publishing. If you've ever wondered, why big-time authors will go to like, a kind of small-town bookstore and sit and, give a talk for an hour and do a signing, that's how you sell books. Is by these one-on-one interactions, and especially if you're a self-published author and you maybe don't have a book marketing budget or something like that, this is a really important way of doing things, and that's why we provide it. One important thing to understand here is that we are not giving them your email address. They're just sending you this. That's why we do it kind of via Leanpub. We do recommend that you make your an email address of yours public, and then you put it in like a forward or introduction or something in your book, and encourage people to email you. Contacting people, being public, being open is a very important part of book marketing and self-publishing. But we don't expose your email address through this, like here at this stage in this process. People can just email you and let you know what they think. So I'm going to click the button. And yeah, then they'll just go back to the book landing page. We should probably add like a toast or something like that to sort of confirm that the email was sent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if that appears. So it appeared in my email. Just going to open that up and share this tab. Hopefully, I'm not exposing anything too private of my own here, but it shouldn't be. So here's what the email will look like. You'll see that it's from Leanpub because it'll have these square brackets. It'll be a message from a reader of the book. Again, that's not necessarily. It's a potential reader. May actually be the person who's done this. We have a little information, kind of like about the message and stuff like that. Um, and Then if you scroll down and see, so I included my email address in the message so they can actually see it right here. Again, it's not their name or anything like that. It's just their email address. They'll probably include their name in their message, and they might not. And then you can see their message. Now, what you can do is you can reply to them by replying to this message. And then they'll see your email address. So if you reply, they'll see your email address. If you don't reply, they don't see your email address. Um, on that note, it's really people we have had reports of kind of, phishing and stuff like that, attempts that mean using this feature. We try and keep on top of that and put protections in place and stuff like that. But it's possible that someone may try doing that. This is a constant thing. If you're a public figure, including someone who's published a book, you're going to be getting approaches from people who might be trying to fish you. They might be offering you, like, book marketing services or something like that. What you should do in those cases is you should do it like you would do with any other unwanted message in your email inbox, which is archive it. Uh, um, you may get messages like this one that don't really need a reply. Great book, can't wait for the next chapter. You might want to reply and say something nice. You might get more substantive ones, like I said, people asking you, when are you actually planning on finishing this book? I see you haven't worked on it for a while. Should I buy it now? Should I buy it later? People might actually email you saying, hey, I can't afford your book at this price. I'm a student, or something like that. Can you please give me a discount coupon? In which case you can reply and do that. But yeah, the first step is they use the feature. They can send you a message. You can just ignore it if you want to, or you can reply. And if you reply, they will then at that point see your email address, but they won't see it unless and until you reply to them. One thing that people ask us about is why they can't disable this feature. Um, One of the reasons is consistency. This is really important. When people go to, like, a web page on a platform, they expect to see the same features on every page, basically. They don't expect to have to kind of, like, navigate some kind of individual settings too much. Um, but more importantly, this is a really important part of being a Leanpub author, is interacting with readers. Again, you can just choose to ignore any emails that you get if you want to. Obviously, if you're getting abuse, you can report that to us. But it's important that everybody know they have an opportunity to contact a Leanpub author. If you don't like that, please close your account. This is, you can't disable this feature. It's a really important part of Leanpub and how Leanpub works. And again, yeah, if you don't want to answer these emails, just ignore them like you would any other email you don't want to answer. And that's perfectly fine. You're under no obligation to answer any email that you get from someone using this feature. You're under no obligation to read them or review them or anything like that. We obviously encourage you to do so. Feedback is gold. Interest in you and your books is gold. You should hopefully regard it as a good thing, and most people do. And yeah, again, important thing to remember is they haven't seen your email. If someone uses this, they haven't seen your email address. You don't have to reply. You can just ignore it. But we really do hope that people do, see this as a good thing, and enjoy interacting with readers, because it is, again, this is kind of like, as old as being as old as being an author is interacting with readers and potential readers. And regarding every interaction you have with someone where you get to talk with them about your book is a good thing that will hopefully increase your sales and increase the quality of your writing, and sort of help you decide, what to write next based on the feedback that you've had from people. So thanks very much for watching this live stream today. If you did, if you sort of jumped in late and you'd like to watch the whole thing, you can find it on our YouTube channel at Leanpub. Please like and subscribe. You'll find all kinds of cool videos there, including launch videos and podcast videos and explainer videos and things like that. So thanks very much, everyone, for watching this live stream today.